Int. Small kitchen, early morngitha. Clock on the wall reads 6:17 a.m. The kitchen is modest, worn by years of financial struggle. A weak light bulb flickers. Julia, 38, pale, visibly tired, sits at the table in a stained bathrobe. Her hands wrap around a chipped mug of black coffee. Across from her sits LIAM 17, gaunt, his eyes distant. His cereal turns soggy in the bowl, Julia pushing a large yellow envelope toward him. It came yesterday. From Grandma's lawyer. Liam doesn't look up. He pokes at the cereal without appetite. Liam, flatly, she said we'd finally be okay when she was gone. Julia, small nod, she said we deserved peace. After everything, Liam lets the spoon drop. The clink is sharp in the silence. LAM, she knew he'd try something. Julia sighs, I trusted the lawyer. I didn't think he'd find a way in. Julia tears open the envelope with trembling fingers. She pulls out documents, eyes scanning quickly, expression shifting from hope to panic. Julia, faltering breath, no, this isn't right. She flips the papers over, reads again, her voice trembles. Julia, hi. Took it. He already took everything. Liam finally looks up. Eyes are dull but flicker with disbelief. Liam, Dad. How? J. Lule claimed power of attorney 2 weeks before she passed. It says here he moved the entire inheritance. It's gone. LIAM, voice cracking, but that was ours. She promised that was ours. Int. Hospital ROOM flashback. 8 months. Aga Grandma Rose, 78. Frail but sharp, clutches Julia's hand. The heart monitor beeps slowly. Grandma Rose, whispering, don't let him near it. That money is for Liam, for you, not for the man who abandoned you. Julia, tearful, I won't let him touch it. I swear to you, Grandma, Ros promised me. Julia, he'll come crawling when it's convenient. Keep it away from him. Back to present. Kaitise Chen. Julia grips the envelope, like it might reverse time. Her lips move, but no sound comes. Liam, quietly, he always said I was just a number to him. Julia, Liam. LIA now. It's true. Even Grandma couldn't protect us. Int. Law office next day, late morninga, sterile room. Lawyer Harris, 50s, balding.com, lays a folder on the table. Julia's eyes are red. Liam sits behind her, arms crossed, eyes down. Lawyer Harazi, understand your confusion. But your ex-husband came in personally. Presented notarized documents showing he had power of attorney. We followed the law. Julia, barely containing fury, that paper is a lie. She never gave him anything. Lawyer, be that as it may, without evidence of forgery. We can't challenge the transaction. It's already transferred the funds. Law, where did it go? Lawyer, HRRAS, Sovshore, we believe. Cayman Islands. Legally, it's outside our jurisdiction. Julia stands up abruptly, knocking over the chair. Jayla Lay let a thief rob a dead woman and her grandson. Lawyer. Harris, sympathetic. I'm truly sorry. I can refer you to a civil firm. But this may take years to resolve. Int. Liam's bedroom, and IGHT posters of space and poetry on the walls. A string of dead fairy lights over the bed. Liam stares at his phone, fingers hovering. He opens a message thread with Dad. The most recent message is, Dad, she told you lies. Dad, it was my mother, too. You think you're owed something. Dad, you're weak, just like your mom. Dad, you were never going to get that money. You don't deserve it. Liam reads the last line again and again. He doesn't cry. He doesn't blink. Int. Kitchen, next to Moran. Liam doesn't. Come down. Julia makes coffee, pauses. Something feels OFFJULIA, calling up Liam. We've got the meeting with the community office at 10. No answer. Int. Liam's room, moments LITR. The bed is made. The window is open. A folded hoodie is on the pillow. Julia notices a notebook on the desk. She opens it. A single page inside. You. Tried, Mom, but maybe he was right. I was never built for this world. Julia drops the notebook. Her knees give out. Her scream pierces the house. Int. Train station, early MOR Nanj. Liam sits alone on a cold metal bench. His hoodie is zipped up, hands tucked inside the sleeves. Trains arrive and depart. Announcements echo, but he doesn't move. Around him, commuters. Rush. Life moves forward, caring, uninterrupted. A mother passes by. Dragging a laughing child in a red coat, Liam watches them with hollow eyes. He turns away. Int. Julia's house kitchen, same more in ing. As if eerily still, Julia stands by the stove. Bacon sizzles in the pan, but she stares blankly at it, then turns off the heat. She walks upstairs, pushes open Liam's door. Again, still no sign. She notices his phone on the windowsill. Her breath catches. Julia's small voice, Liam. Extra street moments, lad Julia sprints to the car barefoot. The engine stutters, then roars. Her hands shake as she drives. Int. Parking garage rooftop. Later that Muirnayan Gilliam stands near the edge. Wind flutters his hair. Below, a city. Wakes up, cars honk. Buses grind 2 stops. People flow like ants. He pulls out a folded sheet of paper. It's the same letter. He presses it against the railing. Then, he steps forward. Int. Emergency room waiting area. Late afternoon. Julia bursts through the hospital doors. Disoriented, panicked. A nurse hurries to her. Nurse, ma'am, we're doing everything we can. Julia, where is he? Where is my son? Unyuresi was found unconscious in the parking lot downtown. He was breathing when they brought him in. Julia's knees buckle. She grabs the nurse's arms. Julia hadn't let him go. Please, please don't let him go. Int. Hospital hallway, 2 hours, LATR. The doctor approaches her slowly. Julia rises from the plastic chair. Her hands clasped. DOCTO, he had massive internal trauma. Severe bleeding. We did everything we could. Julia shakes her head. A desperate, slow denial. Doctor, I'm sorry. She doesn't scream. She doesn't faint. She turns, and walks into the wall. Then drops. A primal sob escapes her lips. Nurses rush, but the moment has already shattered. Int. Liam's ROM9. Liam's ROM9. Each T. Julia sits on his bed, the hoodie in her lap. She rocks slowly, the hoodie clutched to her chest. On his nightstand, his poetry book lies open. Highlighted, this. World is heavy. My spine was made of air. Oh, she touches the line. Her fingers tremble. Int. Funeral parlor, 3 days late. Rain hits the roof. A black and white photo of Liam stands surrounded by flowers. Julia stands alone beside the casket. No one from the father's side came. A school counselor approaches, hands shaking. Counselor, one wish I had known how bad it was. He always smiled, but it wasn't in his eyes. Julia quietly. He didn't want to burden anyone else. He thought. He was the problem. The counselor nods. Walks away. Julia turns to the casket. Julia, I should have read your silence louder. I should have screamed for you. Int. Julia's house kitchen NIGHT bills are piled on the table. A foreclosure notice on top. The power flickers off. Julia doesn't move. She pours a glass of water in the dark. A tap drips. She sits at the table, opens her laptop. Searches how to sue for inheritance fraud. Can emotional distress be used in civil cases? Suicide caused by financial theft case. She pauses. Breathes deep. Opens a blank document. Titles it Statement of Wrongful Death. Julia Miller, v. Thomas Miller, int. Community Center Support Group. 1 week Latera, small circle of grieving parents. Julia is silent at first. Then she speaks. Jalula, my son died because someone took his future. Not just the money, the promise. That things would get better. People nod, tear up. Joli, he didn't jump because he wanted to die. He jumped because he thought there was nothing left to live for. She wipes her eyes. Julia and lies. I will make the man who taught him that feel what he made us feel. XT Cemetery. DAY. Julia kneels before Liam's grave. The headstone is new, fresh. Soil still covers the edges. JULIA, I won't let you be a number, or a footnote, or an accident. She lays down the court documents on the grass. Julia where? Going to court? Baby. And they're going to hear every word. She stands. Her eyes are no longer broken. They burn. Int. Civil Attorney's Office, early morninga. Modest office with old carpeting and packed file cabinets. JULIA sits across from Attorney Myers, 40s. A sharp-eyed woman who reads Liam's letter silently. Attorney MYERSU. Believe the emotional distress and the inheritance theft are directly connected. J. Lee left the letter. He used my ex-husband's exact words. That man destroyed his hope. Attorney Myers quietly will need every document. Emails, messages, the original will. And will need to go public. Julia nods without hesitation. Jilala, do it. I want the world to know his name. Int. Julia's kitchen, on IGHT's stacks of paper. Printed emails, bank transfers. Julia works under a desk lamp, highlighting damning evidence. Her hands shake, but she keeps going. On her wall, a sticky note. For Liam. Int. Courtroom preliminary hearing. Day Thomas, Miller, 46. Well-groomed, smug, sits across the courtroom. His lawyer leans in, confident. Julia enters. Alone. Her eyes meet Thomas's. He smirks. Thomas, under his breath, you're embarrassing yourself. He was weak. Julia doesn't blink. Julia, you killed your son with your words. The bailiff. Calls the court to order Bailiff Miller v. Miller case 4427B, wrongful. Appropriation and emotional damage. Int. Courthouse hallway after ing. Julia. Steps into the hallway. Media waits. RIPORT arms. Miller, is it true your son left a suicide note naming his father? Jolahi left the truth. I'm just giving it a microphone. Int. Liam's ROOMNIGHT. Julia opens a box of old birthday cards. From Liam when he was 9. You're my favorite person in the world, Mommy. She sobs for the first time in days. The kind of sob that comes from the marrow. Int. Law office. Next. Attorney Myers lays out photos, texts, timelines. Attorney Myers will argue theft, emotional manipulation, and a direct chain of consequence between the fraud and Liam's death. J. Lilla, he said Liam didn't deserve it. That it was never his. Attorney Myers will make that the core. Not just what he stole, but what he destroyed. Int. Courtroom trial begins. 1 month later. Packed room. Press in the back. The judge reads the file solemnly. Judge, you are alleging that your ex-husband's theft and psychological abuse contributed directly to your son's suicide? Julia, Your Honor. Judge, proceed. Julia rises. Her voice wavers, then stabilizes. Jalami told Liam he was worthless. He told him he wasn't owed anything, not love, not support, not a future. Then he stole every last dollar meant to protect him. She turns to Thomas. Jalahay didn't just steal from a dead woman, stole from a boy trying to survive him. Int. Courtroom cross-examination. Day 2. Thomas sits on the stand. Uncomfortable. Prosecutor, Mr. Miller, did you send your son the following messages? Reads, you don't belong here. You're weak. You were never getting that money anyway. Thomas shifts in his seat. THOMAS. They were. Out of context, PROCCU2R. He used those exact words in his suicide letter. The court murmurs. The judge bangs the gavel. Int. Courtroom day 3, Julia takes the stand. Attorney MYRS, what would Liam be doing today? That inheritance had arrived safely. Jalilay, he wanted to study writing. He wanted to go to a place where he felt safe. We were going to move. Start over. That money wasn't about greed. It was about escape. Her voice breaks. Jola, but Thomas made sure he never believed in that escape. INT. Courthouse hallway, an IGHT. Julia waits alone on a bench, her hands clasped tightly. A janitor walks by, offers a soft nod. Julia nods back. Janitorier doing something brave. The world doesn't always reward it, but it sees it. INT. Courtroom verdict. DAY. Final MOMNTs. The judge enters. Everyone rises. JUDG after reviewing the evidence. This court finds that Thomas Miller willfully manipulated financial instruments to steal an inheritance that was never his. We also recognize the clear psychological damage inflicted upon the deceased minor. Liam Miller. He turns to Julia. Jody G. We cannot bring back your son, but we can declare this. He mattered. He deserved better. And so do you. Court CLRK judgment. Awarded to the plaintiff, full estate restoration. Plus $750,000 in punitive damages. Gasps in the courtroom. Julia breathes in deep. Steady. Thomas stares at her, speechless. INT. Cemetery Dueska. Julia places the court ruling, laminated, at Liam's grave. Galale, he heard you. The world. The court. They all heard you. She places her hand over the cold stone. JULIA. ILL carry your name until the last breath leaves me. INT Community Foundation Office. 6 months LATR. The room is modest. Walls painted light blue. A plaque being hung reads, "The Liam Miller Fund for the Invisible Fighters." Julia stands next to a young volunteer 20s. Organizing laptops and school supplies. Young Violuin TERU really turned pain into something powerful. JULIA. I didn't do it for power. I did it because I couldn't survive silence. She walks over to a framed photo of Liam on the wall. Jula used to say no one saw him. Now the whole world does. INT Courthouse follow-up hearing. DAY. Thomas sits alone, hair unkempt. A new judge speaks. JUDG 2. Asset concealment and non-payment of court-ordered damages. Mr. Thomas Miller is hereby sentenced to 18 months of incarceration and financial seizure of all liquid assets. A police officer cuffs him, Thomas snarling. Toward Julia, you turned my son against me. Giuliano, you did that. I just refused to bury the truth with him. I end. High school auditorium Dia scholarship ceremony. A teenager, Maria, 18, holds back tears on stage. Maria, I never thought someone like me would go to college. But because of Liam, because of what his mom built. I have a shot. Applause. Julia sits in the front row, clutching a folded hoodie on. Her lap. INT podcast studio. Weeks later, Julia speaks into a microphone. Julia, what we tell our children has weight. The cruelest thing you can do is make them believe they're invisible. Liam wasn't invisible. He was suffocated. Her voice is steady. Julia, and to the parents who've lost a child. If you're still breathing, you still have something left. To fight for. INT family gathering 1 year after the VRDICT. Julia enters a room full of relatives. Her cousin embraces her. Someone hands her a framed certificate, Award of Civil Courage in memory of Liam Miller. She nods quietly. RLATIV. He's changing lives, even now. INT. Liam's room and IGHT. Everything is exactly as he left it. Julia sits on the bed. Her fingers trace the spine of his favorite book. She turns to the camera quietly, directly. Julia, he was here. He mattered. And he will not disappear. Exo Onus. Leah stands alone, scattering some of Liam's ashes into the wind. A bracelet on her wrist reads, "You matter." As the wind picks up, she closes her eyes. Julia, he left because of cruelty. But what remains now? Is purpose. She releases the last of the ashes, fade to black, text on screen. In memory of every child made to feel invisible. May your stories never be stolen again. FIM